Hello everyone, welcome to Programming in C++ with me, Juhi Kaneria. Let us continue our Unit 1 Principles of Object-Oriented Programming. By the end of this session, you will be able to list different data types available in C++ and also develop simple C++ program using basic and derived data types. Data types in C++. Data types define the type and size of data a variable can hold. That means every variable in C++ occupies certain memory, and this memory, the size of this memory depends upon the data type. Basically, there are three types of data types: built-in type, derived type, and user-defined data types. Built-in types are already available or predefined by the system, and these data types can be void, integral, or floating point type. Again, integral can be int or character. Floating point type has also float and double. Then we have derived type, which are obtained from the built-in type or which are formed from the built-in data types. They are array, function, pointers. And another type of data types are user-defined types such as structure, union, class, enumeration. Built-in data types. They are the predefined data types and can be used directly by the user to declare the variables. C++ has character, integer, float, double, void, etc. as the built-in data types. Here, char is used to, char keyword is used to define the variables of type character. Its size is 1 byte. That means it can store values ranging from -2 raised to 7 to 2 raised to 7 minus 1. The characters in C++ are enclosed within the single quotes. Example, char test is equal to, within the single quote we have h. Here, test is a variable whose data type is char. Similarly, for integer, we can write int salary equal to 8500 or any value. Here, the range of int or integer data type is from -2 raised to 31 to 2 raised to 31 minus 1. That means it has a size of 4 bytes. Another data types are float and double. These two are used for storing the floating point numbers, and the size of float is 4 while that of double is 8 bytes, and the precision of double is twice that of the float. That means float has a precision of 7 bits or 7 points, and double has a precision of 15 points. Example is float area 64.74 and double volume equal to 134.64534. Here area is a variable whose data type is float, while volume is a variable whose data type is double. Another data type is void. Void data type indicates that there is an absence of any data type or there is no value. They are not used with the variables, but they are used with the functions and pointers. We'll see in the later. In this table, I have summarized the size and range of different data types. You can go through it, and this above values may vary from compiler to compiler. We have considered GCC 64-bit compiler over here, and for your compiler, the values may differ. If you want to check the values or the size of the particular data type in your particular compiler, then you can write this program. Here we have included the header files called iostream.h, then we have corneo.h, and in the main function the very first line is clear screen, which means it will clear the output screen and give you the fresh outputs. Then we have cout, size of character data type is, then we have this function called size of. This size of char, this is used to find the size of that particular data type which has been provided within the bracket. So
for my compiler, the size of character is 1 byte, the size of short int is 2 bytes, the size of int for my particular compiler is 2 bytes, for long int it is 4, for double data type it is 4, and again for float it is 4. Derived data types. The data types that are obtained from the built-in types are known as derived data types. That means they are formed using the built-in data types like int, char or anything, float, double, etc. Some of the derived data types are functions, arrays and pointers. Let's see each of this in detail. Array. An array is a collection or set of elements of same data type that are referenced by the same name. All the elements in the array are stored at contiguous memory locations and each element is accessed by a unique index or subscript value. The subscript value indicates the position of an element in an array. For example, in this array, we have integer array x of 6, right? Here we have the values 2, 10, 12, 14, 16 and 3. Array index will always begin with 0 and it will end with the value n minus 1. Let's say in our case n is 6, then the last index will be n minus 1, that is 6 minus 1 equal to 5. The array elements are x of 0, x of 1, where 0, 1, 2 and so on 5 are the subscripts. The syntax for declaring an array is indicated over here. Data type, array name, then array size, and we can initialize the values within the curly brackets. Let's see a small program related to array. Again here I have included the header files iostream and corneo.h. Corneo.h because I'm using clear screen and getch. Now the logic of array, here's here int numbers 6 and then I have declared or initialized the numbers over here. Now int numbers indicates that numbers is an array name and its data type is int or integer and its size is 6. That means it can hold 6 values ranging from index 0 to index 5. Let's say if I want to print the value at index 3, I can write nums index of 3 or subscript of 3. Here within the curly bracket, if we write nums within the curly bracket, it indicates that it is a string and it will print as it is. While if I write it without the curly brackets, numbers 3 without the curly bracket, it indicates that a value of that variable is to be printed. So in our case, the value of numbers of 3, that is index 3, is 14, and so in the output you can see 14 is been printed. Next is functions. Again, this is derived data types, and function is a self-contained program statements that are used to carry out a specific well-defined task. For functions, three things are very important: function declaration, function definition and function call. Function declaration, the syntax of function declaration is return type, function name and list of parameters. In function definition, we have return type, function name, parameter list, and within the curly bracket, the actual logic or the body of the function is written. And function call, we have simply function name and the list of parameters, and this is function call appears within the main program. Let's see an example related to functions. Yes, one thing I forgot, function declaration and definition can be merged together. Let's see this in our program. See over here, I have a function called my function. In this screenshot, the iostream.h header is not seen, but actually it is there. Void my function. Here my function is the name of the function and its return type is void, that is it is going to return nothing. And within that I have just simply written a print statement where it is going to print my function just got executed. Now within the main function I have written, or I have called my function, and after calling that I had given just end L, where end L is used to print a new line. And again I have called my function my function I have called over here. So this, when this program is executed, the output will be my function just got executed, my function just got executed. So main benefit of using function is that we can avoid writing repeatedly the same code, or we can reuse the existing code. Let's say if I want to print the same statement 100 times, I can call my function 100 times instead of writing the same logic 100 times. Then we have pointers. A pointer is a variable that can store the address of another variable. This we have seen in C also. Pointers allow to use the memory dynamically. That is, with the help of pointers, memory can be allocated or deallocated to the variables at the runtime, making a program more efficient. The syntax for it is data type, then we have a asterisk mark, or we can say a pointer symbol, then we have a pointer variable. Example of pointer, let's see. Here again, include iostream.h, include corneo.h, and then we have the main logic wherein we have int star pc and c. Here pc is a pointer of type integer. Now the pointer will have same data type as that of the variable whose address it is going to hold. Let's say pc is going to hold the address of my variable c, so its data type would be int. Now say c is equal to 5 has been initialized. When I write address of c, that is end of c, if I use end of c, that means it will print the address or memory location of variable c. You can see over here some memory location FFF4 appears over here. And if I want to write the or obtain the value of variable c, I can simply write c, print c. Right. Now if I want to point this pointer pc to the memory location of variable c, I write pc is equal to ampersand of c, where ampersand is the address operator. Now when I write or print pc, it will give me the address of my variable c. You can see over here the same values appear, which is the address of c. Now if I write star of pc, it will give me the value which is stored at the location of pc, or location pointed by pc. That is the value of my variable c. Next data types are user defined data types, but we'll see that in the upcoming session. Till then, try it yourself. Write a C++ program to find sum of two numbers, say 5 and 10, using function. And also try one program of pointers where p is a pointer pointing to a character type variable ch, and print the values of ch and address of ch using p. That's it for today. Thank you and see you in the next session.